I'd like to welcome everybody to our weekly Keystroke Live presentation. Every week we do topics that are specific to Keystroke point of sale or advanced POS, or sometimes our express POS. This happens every Wednesday, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, same place, same login information. And the first Wednesday of each month is our president, Michael Gebb, and he will be presenting next week. This week we're going to be talking about a feature in Database Manager called Search and Hide or Delete. While I'm giving the presentation, I'm going to put everybody on mute just in case there's any background noise, but I will open it up for questions at the end. So when we're doing search and hide delete, this can be done on any database. It's always recommended to have a current backup before performing this function. Now you can hide, unhide, or delete database records with this function. We always recommend to hide database records if you're not going to use them. If you delete them, you're going to lose all the history. So there are circumstances where you may want to delete them, but in most cases we're going to recommend to hide them. I'm going to show you the process, how to go through this in Keystroke, but in general, you start out in Database Manager, you select an appropriate database record of the type that you want to perform this function on. You go to the Find menu. You choose to search and hide, delete, and then you're going to choose whether you're going to hide, unhide, or delete records. It's important for you to remember that you want to use F9. A lot of our databases have multiple screens, so if the field that you want to use for your search criteria is on a different screen, you're going to use F9. I'm going to show you all these in just a second. You always need to enter at least one kind of search criteria. This is to prevent you from hiding or deleting everything in your records, in your whole database. And you use F10 to begin the process. You can choose to confirm the change to each record. This is good when you're first starting out to make sure that your search criteria is doing what you want it to do, or you can choose to change all, or you can cancel it from there. If you are deleting records, they can only be recalled individually. Now remember, if records are deleted, they can be recalled up until the time that database is packed. Once a database is packed, you cannot recall deleted records, so that's important to remember. Records that are hidden or unhidden, if you go through this whole process and realize, oh, I really messed up, you can run the same process again, but do it by reversing the running function. So if you've hidden a bunch of things and you want to unhide, you would choose to search and unhide records. So let's go to Keystroke here. And we're going to go to Databases. And we're going to start on Inventory. Just going to, it comes up with a single record. It really doesn't matter which one. You go to the Find menu. There have been other sessions talking about some of the other search functions, but we're going to talk about search and hide and delete. For the first example, we're going to choose to hide records. Notice you can unhide or delete them, but we want to hide the records. You come up with pretty much a blank database screen. Notice down in the lower right-hand corner it says search. This is your search criteria. And if the field that you want to use for your search criteria isn't on this screen, remember you can hit F9, or you can use the buttons down below to go to the, no, that doesn't work in the search criteria, so you just have to use F9, so we'll find, search and hide, delete, hide records. As an example, I want to search and hide records on my last sold date, say less than, oh, I don't know, 2 years ago. Let's go with 2 years. I'm not sure this database contains that criteria, so we can put in a criteria of minus 2y, which means, and we go less than minus 2y. So anything that has not been sold in the last 2 years, we want to hide. But we also only want to hide them if the quantity on hand is 0. If the quantity on hand is not 0, that generally means we have some of these in stock. You can hit F10 at this point once I've entered my search criteria. It's going to give you the message, do you want to confirm hiding each record? As I mentioned, when you're first getting started with this, it's probably a good idea to say yes. What that will do, if we say yes, it's going to find the first record that meets our search criteria. So let's see if we have anything here. So we're going to say yes. We have an item that's labor. It's never been sold. Well, you know, this particular database we may not have, but we know we want to keep this in here. So we can choose not to hide this record. Notice down at the bottom on the status screen, do you want to hide this record? Yes, no, or all. On this particular one, I'm going to say no. We're not going to hide this record. Finds the next record. Oh, we have Pepsi singles. Quantity on hand 0. Never been sold. Well, my search criteria maybe isn't, I didn't think it through for this demo, but we're not going to hide this one either. Again, another Pepsi. I'm hitting N for no. Oh, we have this gift basket. We've never sold it. Yeah, I want to hide this record, so I can hit yes. You can do this one at a time, as I mentioned, or you can just say, okay, this is working fine. I can hit A for all, and it'll go through and hide everything. And it has hidden 11 different records for me. Click OK. This is done. Well, if I want to see what my hidden records are, I can go to the record menu, go to Hide Show. I can list all of my items, hidden or not, just my active items, or just my inactive or hidden items. So I know I didn't have anything hidden, so let's go to just my hidden items. All right, here's all the things I hid. If I decide, oh, well, I didn't want to hide shipping and handling, I can highlight it, hit enter on it. It's no longer hidden. Oh, and my labor, no longer hidden. And that's up to you. If you want to see everything hidden or not hidden, go to the record menu, Hide Show, List All. As I go down through my database, my hidden ones, notice in this last column, are hidden. If I decide, no, I don't want this hidden anymore, I can hit enter on it. It's no longer hidden. So I can kind of see what's going on. So I've unhid a bunch of these. Let's see how many I have still hidden. You know, looks like I have about 8 records here. As I mentioned, with the hide show or the hide or unhide feature, if I decided, okay, that's not what I wanted to do, it hid a bunch of stuff that I didn't want hidden, and especially if you have hundreds of items, you don't want to go through and unhide them individually. So I could go back, go to search and hide, delete. I want to unhide records. Now, since I haven't left Database Manager, my search criteria that I just did is still here. So I want to unhide all of these records that I just hid. Hit F10. I don't want to confirm unhiding these. I just want to go through everything. So I'm going to say no. And search and unhide completed, 8 records activated. And I can verify that by going back to the record menu, hide show, inactive. Lo and behold, it's blank. As I mentioned, you can do this to hide records, unhide, or delete. I want to open this up for any questions, and let me know what you might have concerns about with this. Any questions? It's a pretty simple concept, but it can be very powerful. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation, and let's review this real quickly. Remember, we always recommend hiding records rather than deleting them. And this can be done on any of our databases. It can be done on inventory, vendors, customers. You want to have a backup? You go to Database Manager, select the type of database you want to perform the function on, go to the Find menu, choose Search and Hide, Delete, and then choose whether you're going to hide, unhide, or delete records. And you can use F9 to select your appropriate search screen if it's on a different screen than what initially shows up. You have to enter at least one search criteria. F10 begins the process. You're going to get a box that pops up to choose to confirm each record. You can say yes, no, which will change all of them, or cancel to get out of the whole procedure. Remember, if records are deleted, they can only be recalled individually. And records that are hidden or unhidden can be reversed by running the opposite function. I want to show you briefly on deleting. I'm not going to run the search and delete function, but let's delete a record. We're just going to choose this mouse pad. I want to show you how to recall it if you accidentally delete it. Remember, this one's given us a warning. It's in use, which probably means it has a quantity on hand. But I want to delete it anyway. Notice it's gone because it's based on stock number. If I need to recall it, go to the record menu, recall. It's going to show my deleted records, and you can recall them or put them back in the database one at a time. Remember, you can only recall one up until the point you have packed your database. So it's always a good idea to have a backup. That has now been recalled.
Lynn, I have a quick question.
Sure.
When you delete a record and pack it, I can't remember, will that change all the stock numbers?
No. It does not. The stock numbers are going to remain the same. There's a function to change stock numbers if you want, but no, because that stock number is the unique record number of that item. So it's just going to go in there and it's just going to be missing in the list if you're sorting by stock number. But that was a good question, Bob.
Yeah, because I've seen now in a normal database, once you pack it, then it's going to readjust, all the record locators. So I was just wondering, it's been a while since I've, deleted one, so I haven't really kind of, remembered if that did that.
It won't renumber them. It will re-index them, saying that there's no longer that stock number there, but the numbers themselves don't change. They do get re-indexed, but the stock numbers themselves do not change.
So that stock number would just be unavailable. You couldn't, if you deleted it, you couldn't go back and reuse that stock number ever if you wanted to.
Oh, you probably could. It would be a matter of knowing a stock number is available and changing the next number when you add new items. It's possible to reuse it, but with Keystroke allowing, 1 million records or more, there's really no reason to reuse a stock number. All that number is just a way of uniquely tracking records. So there's really no reason to do that. Any other questions? If you have questions in the future, please feel free to give us a call. I'd like to thank everybody for attending. Remember, this is the same time, same place, every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Next week is First Wednesdays with Michael Gebb, and he always has some interesting information to pass along to you. I hope everybody has a wonderful day and the rest of the week, and hopefully we'll be speaking with you on the phone. Bye-bye.